Hey Moonbeams, it's me, Celia Marie 1243, the Spirit Guide Whisperer, your fairy tarot sister. I think that's gonna be the new intro. That's cute. It rhymes, but I feel like it's gone a little bit beyond fairy tarot sister because I've taken on so many other roles. But this video is a pick a card on your psychic abilities. If you are looking to talk to your spirit guides, be a lot more in tune with yourself, your psychic abilities are a really good place to start. So what's going to happen is you are going to pick one of the following crystals. If more than one calls out to you, definitely watch more than one pile. I notice for a lot of my videos, people end up picking all the piles often. So use your discernment. It's a practicing thing where you can practice your discernment. You guys know me, I'm a spiritual mentor. I'm always challenging you to trust your intuition. So pile number one is going to be this oblate. I believe it's oblate. This bear, oblate bear. That's pile number one. This is pile number two. Okay, pile number two, this is malachite. And pile number three is this little Lemurian seed crystal, clear quartz Lemurian seed crystal. Okay, so go ahead, pick your pile. I'll meet you there. Okay, so for my pile number one, people, let's find out what psychic abilities you have, and I will tell you also how to work with them. Okay, this is my clairvoyant pile. So if you don't already know, we can have all the psychic abilities. There are several psychic abilities. I like to cover the main four. In a lot of my workshops and classes, we cover the main four first because a lot of the other even rare abilities, they will have a base or a root in the four. So that's clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, and claircognizance. I said those out of order, but you, my friend, are clairvoyant. This says observation and it says aura. So you have the ability to possibly see people's auras. Clairvoyance is clear seeing. I have videos on the clairs. I want to redo the video because it's kind of older and I've gained so much more experience and knowledge about it. But until then, you could definitely check out the old video. But you are clairvoyant. It really feels like you are somebody, if your forehead has been hurting a lot lately, maybe you're getting a lot of acne around that area, that's a confirmation, excuse me. You could also be clairaudient because I just burped. A lot of times when I burp during a reading, excuse me, it is a message that somebody is clearing their throat chakra. We'll get into that in a minute, but this says aura observation, and clairvoyance really is about being able to have clear seeing, so you could have very vivid dreams. It doesn't have to be just one type of way. Keep that in mind. Every clairvoyant person is different. Every clairaudient person is different, the way that we receive our gifts. And the best way I would say to work with them is to start to practice. I have a video that has some good practicing stuff too. But you are very visual. So these are like my artists. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of throbbing in my forehead, in my third eye. So these are my artists, creatives. If you are one of those daydreamers, somebody who is always kind of living up in the clouds, but you see things very visually. Maybe when people are describing things, you can see it. Or you're reading a book, you can see it very vividly. Another way that clairvoyance comes out that I don't always hear people talking about, but is one of my really strong ways that my clairvoyance comes through, is when you kind of look around and something just stands out to you. That happens all the time for me during readings, and that could happen to you. Sometimes these need to just be activated by knowing that you're actually doing them, and then you become aware. So that is my hope for doing these readings. So maybe you are like looking around and you're wondering like, you know, oh, what should I eat today? And you see like something random that says like eggs. Okay, that's just one example, but you could also see people's auras. You could see colors. Clairvoyance doesn't have to be like a full picture. I know that a lot of people experience it in different ways. For me, a lot of times I will see things kind of as a movie. I access Akashic records, I read people's past lives, and how I do that is I tune into my clairvoyance mostly, and I am looking at the life and I'm looking at all the details of everything around. So Spirit is also telling me that you're very detail oriented. You pick out the smallest little things, and that is part of your gift. That is part of this ability. I feel like maybe people call you like picky, or you know, act like you're doing too much. You're not doing too much. You are following your psychic ability of clairvoyance. I feel like, so not only does your third eye kind of govern, you know, clear seeing, but it's also the ability to see like through people, if that makes sense. I feel like you're one of those people who, when somebody's around, you can tell, like you see this aura thing. It doesn't just have to be that you're seeing the color of their aura. I know for me, I'm a very strong clairvoyant, like I said, but I don't see things with these eyes. I see it with this eye. So if I see somebody, I can see a sense of their aura in my third eye, but it's not always going to be a color. Some people think that it's just colors. It's not only colors. You could see that somebody is hurt. You could see that somebody is in pain, that they are sad, that they're happy. Maybe you can see that they just lost somebody. You have the ability. And if all of those haven't really panned out for you, you have the ability to develop them. It's already there. Okay, that's funny. My dog just barked. I don't know if you guys can hear that. But I feel like that's Spirit wanting us to move into the throat chakra. And I will also pull some tarot cards to get more on this. So you are also clairaudient. Keep in mind, like I said, all of us have all of them, but these are the ones that are strongest for you. And I always recommend on working on those ones first, aside from clairsentience, which I think everybody should work on. And that's just from my mediumship experience. It helps a lot to always focus back on what you feel, because when you see something, if you're just focused on how it looks, that might be a little bit deceiving. You know, they say don't judge a book by its cover. If you're tapping into your feeling space, you can kind of calibrate what you're seeing, if that makes sense. That's something we talk about a lot in Development Circle. So what do we got here? Okay, so the Four of Wands reversed came out for you, the Nine of Swords, and the Queen of Coins. I'll talk about the throat chakra thing in just a second, but I really feel like with this Nine of Swords, you could have very vivid dreams as well. The types of dreams where you see things very vividly. I feel like you could also be somebody who does a lot of, I just heard time travel, but you could do a lot of astral projection. I feel like you are astral projecting without even knowing it. Sometimes if you can wake up, if you get a good night's sleep, supposedly, and then you wake up and you just feel super tired, you're probably astral projecting in your sleep. Definitely get with your spirit guides on that. Also a tip, spray some Florida water in a from a spray bottle on your bed, or you can pour a little glass, you do like a shot glass of Florida water by your bed, or practice grounding before you go to bed if you're not trying to astral project while you sleep. But you could have premonitions as well. That means that you have dreams that come true later. So I feel like you may have even had that gift since you were a child. A lot of times our psychic abilities are very active when we're children, and they end up somewhere around our teenage years, maybe a little bit sooner for some of us. We start to get hit by kind of the real world, you know what I mean? And people tell us to stop daydreaming so much, you know, you have to do this. And so that's when things, or we get come across like scary situations that frighten us out of our abilities. And I've worked with so many people where we have to like dig through the shadow work of, okay, you were scared of this spirit. You were scared of this spirit, and now that's kind of blocked you. So we have to like dig through it. One thing that I just saw as well, I literally just looked up, and I don't know if you guys saw my eyes just kind of glaze over. That's a lot of times what I do when I'm tuning into my third eye, but I actually was looking with these eyes and I was seeing like waves. So again, you are very sensitive to energy. You might literally see people's energy around them. So if you ever just kind of like find yourself staring off, you might see little like particles of things. You can literally see energy, which is a really cool gift and ability. I also get, it's really interesting. This is the Four of Wands. It has a couple on it specifically, and it's reversed, right? I get this sense that you also have this very keen knowing of when a couple isn't going to work out, if that makes sense. Like if you see a couple, you immediately very well know, and this feels like clear cognizance, right? I think one of the other piles is going to be talking about clear cognizance. If you felt drawn to the Lemurian crystal, definitely go look at that pile, because I looked at all of these cards before everybody picked, and yeah, clear cognizance. I'm going to talk about it a lot more there. And I just saw 1111, so that could be a confirmation too. But you could also be clear cognizant, where you kind of know when something isn't going to work out, or you can see somebody's bad intentions is what I'm getting. So I feel like your spirit guides are also asking you to trust that more. There could have been a situation recently where that's happened, where you just know something's wrong with people, or you know somebody doesn't mean good for you, and you're just like, I can't put my finger on it. Well, put your third eye on it. Your third eye is on it. Trust it. So many of us have very strong intuition, but then we end up ignoring it. Okay, so trust your intuition. This Queen of Coins, this lets me know that you could also be very good at, like numbers or manifesting. The Queen of Coins energy, Pentacles energy is very surrounded by like material things. It feels like you could be very, very good at commanding things. I just saw somebody snap and like things coming to them immediately. Wow, this is a very gifted pile. I'm seeing a lot of different abilities. Like I said, it's a general reading, so all of them might not apply directly to you, but I feel like most of them do. If most of these apply to you, let me know in the comments. I'm interested to see how many of them you're kind of I just heard the word spot on. That's my clairaudience coming through. Okay, so that's spirit bringing us back to clairaudience. And keep in mind what just happened for me. A lot of times your abilities, once you get really good at it, especially, they're going to all react together. They're going to all connect. So I'm going to explain what just happened so you can understand. So I literally just heard spirit say something, and then I knew that we were talking about I heard spot on, and I knew we were talking about clairaudience, and then I looked and my attention was pulled to this blue here, right? Blue is the color of your throat chakra. So immediately that was a confirmation for me. Do you see how fast that process went? And it's all happening in my head. I explain it because I like to give you guys my process so that you can understand how yours might work. Isn't that cool? Ooh, I love doing this. I love. So you are also clairaudient. So that is here at your throat chakra. Clairaudient is clear hearing. So you could hear a lot of tones. You could have a really good ear for music. You could, maybe know how to replicate music by just listening to it, or maybe you can sing notes without knowing what they actually are. Very sensitive to hearing. Some other ways that you could be clairaudient. Getting songs repeating in your head all the time. That's a really common thing for clairaudient people, for your songs to repeat in your head. And those songs are sending you messages, by the way. If you have been having songs in your head, your spirit guides I'm seeing your spirit guides not. They're like, yeah, we've been sending you a lot of songs. So if a song really stands out to you, or if it's been repeating over and over, look at the lyrics of the song, think about how the song makes you feel, and kind of use that to understand what the message is that your spirit guides could be sending you, or what your intuition is trying to tell you. Some other ways that clairaudience works is, sorry, I just tuned out because I think I'm getting a channeled message. So let me tune into how. I feel like your clairaudience could be blocked for some of you in this pile. Your throat chakra could be blocked. If you have a really hard time speaking up for yourself, or sometimes if you blurt out too much and you be cussing people out and gossiping, those are both not ideal situations for your throat chakra. And bringing that into balance, excuse me, see, there it goes. Bringing those into balance is going to help your throat chakra. If you are getting ringing in your ears, that ringing a lot of times is because our spirit guides and the beings that are connecting with us, they are up here in frequency. They're not literally up here, but they are up here in frequency compared to us down here on earth, which is really dense. So when they are trying to talk to us, that frequency is way up here, and it's kind of like static on a radio. If you're not quite where you need to be, it's going to sound a little bit off. So that's where you get your ringing. I tend to think that the higher pitch the ringing, the higher frequency the guide. So there's different levels to spirit guides. I have a podcast episode about the different types of spirit guides and the kind of like order that they go in. So closest to you would be like your higher self, and then up higher would probably be like a deity, your ascended masters, archangels and stuff like that. So depending on that pitch. Somebody in here might be a smoker, and I literally just heard your spirit guides say, if you want to help your clairaudience, if you want to activate that more, stop smoking. Stop smoking. It's inhibiting your ability to connect with your clairaudience the way that you need to. Okay. Let's see if there's any last things for this pile. I feel like your spirit guides are very, very active around you, and they are telling you to now keep your eyes open. Like I said, awareness is super important when it comes to abilities. So now that you're aware of all these things, keep your eyes open. All three of them, keep your eyes open to the signs and synchronicities. I just saw a feather. So maybe you found a feather recently, or you'll find one later. But just keep your eyes open and be aware, because all of these abilities, once you acknowledge them, that's when they really start to activate for real. I have done a class in the past called Psychic Activation Level 1. It goes over all of the abilities, the main ones, and gives you a whole bunch of exercises on how to improve them. I'm going to be turning that class into a video class. It used to be an in-person workshop. I'm going to turn it into a video class. It'll be available probably for my middle tier of Patreon and up, but it'll also be available for purchase on my website. So if that sounds like something that you want help with, that would be helpful for you. If you're a visual learner, which you are, it would probably be really good. It'll be a video format. And then you're also, of course, welcome to join Patreon, where we have a bunch of tips and tricks. My top tier of Patreon gets into Psychic Development Circle automatically. If you want to get to a point where you're practicing your abilities with other people, you can join us. There are limited spots every month, but we do them twice a week, or twice a month, sorry. So, or one last thing, if you are trying to connect to your spirit guides specifically, we can also do a spirit guide whispering session, right? I said I was a spirit guide whisperer. Ain't no lies over here. So you could do a spirit guide whispering session, and we will literally tune in with your spirit guides, and I will teach you one-on-one how to connect with them. I've had people who have done just a couple sessions, and after a couple of sessions, they've done really, really well with connecting with their guides on their own. So I will leave that there. I hope that this was helpful for you. Please like this video. Make sure you subscribe if you want some more psychic information. guidance on your spiritual, ooh, and go balance your throat chakra too, babes. If you want some more guidance on your spiritual journey, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye. Okay, now we're moving on to pile two. Pile two. Okay. What is your psychic abilities? We're going over your psychic abilities. What you have the strongest, especially, and right now, because sometimes they can fluctuate. Maybe one time or like a week, you'll be really strong with your clairaudience, and then it'll change into clairvoyance. And I have a video on all the clairs. If you guys are coming from pile one and you're still watching pile two, hey, I might repeat some of the things that I said, but just bear with me, okay? You chose the Malachite. You are very clairsentient. I already know that you're very clairsentient. Clairsentience is clear feeling. That is my empaths. I truly believe that most people who come across my path as clients, as people who are, wanting to learn from me, they are empaths. We naturally gravitate towards each other. You can feel, I can literally feel it in my heart chakra right now. You can feel when somebody is upset. You're very sensitive to energies in the feeling way. You can tell if somebody is angry. You can tell if somebody has a stomach ache. So this could also be physical, like health issues that you might be aware of as well. For people, I'm also getting the sense that you could be clair. I always mix these two up. These are rare psychic abilities. So you have one of the more rare ones. I have a YouTube video on the rare abilities. I'll try and link that in the description. But I always mix them up. Clairgustance, I believe, is clear tasting, and clairalience is smelling. But clairalience and clairgustance, that's all your throat chakra. So if sometimes you just taste things randomly out of nowhere, when you didn't eat it, you're not really craving it, that could be a message from your spirit guides, from energy around you. I know for me, when I need to cleanse, sometimes I will randomly taste or smell soap. So you could literally have that as well. That's really cool that you have one of those rare ones. And I don't want to say it's actually like rare. It's really just that we don't talk about them as much. And not as many people know about them, but that video will help you. But you have this deep sense of like feeling. You're definitely a feeler. You're very sensitive. Your energy feels, I almost want to say earthy. You could have a lot of earth in your chart, but you don't have to. I feel like you're very just sensitive to touch, sensitive to smell, sensitive to vibes is what I'm feeling. I'm literally seeing somebody be like this and they're like, it's the vibes for me. Really pay attention to how you are feeling when you are in certain situations, because that will tell you a lot about the energy and whether you need to be there or not, what you need to do. Also, your guides are reminding me to remind you to make sure that you are cleansing your energy often. If you are an empath, your energy is kind of like a sponge and you soak up everybody else's energy. But what happens when a sponge is full? It starts kind of leaking out. We don't want that either. That's when you start to feel drained, sluggish, and you could be feeling like that now. Take a spiritual bath, do a meditation, cleanse. Because you are an empath, because you are clairsentient, it might be really good for you to do like a meditation or a bath, but whatever you do, make sure you are going into your feeling space and clearing that out. I just heard that old song, Chicken Noodle Soup, Let It Rain and Clear It Out. I don't know if somebody has been listening to that song or if that song's been popping up in your head or something. This is the card. I don't even think I showed you guys the card yet. This is the card. I had to get all of that other stuff out first. You are also very, very lucky. Now, I do this because I don't necessarily believe in luck. I believe in following your intuition and being at the right place at the right time, which I guess is what people would call luck. But you are very, very good when you trust yourself. And again, I'm getting so much pressure around your heart chakra. If your heart or chest has been hurting, if it feels medical, definitely go check out all of your medical things first. I don't want anybody to ever feel like you should just ignore all of your physical things in your body because, oh, well, it's spiritual. Definitely get it checked out by a doctor first. Those things are important. But if there's nothing going on with you medically, and you are getting these, this pressed feeling or this, heavy feeling or throbbing or even excitement in your heart chakra, that is trying to tell you something. It could be your heart chakra trying to unblock. So your heart chakra is connected with clairsentience, one of your strongest abilities, but it's also connected with compassion. So if it's blocked for you, you could still have it and it's blocked. Does that make sense? So if you have this ability, but it's blocked, that could feel like just a lot of sadness, again, soaking up other people's stuff. It could be those chest pains. You could have a hard time having compassion for other people. Heart chakra, meditations. There are frequencies that are really good for your heart chakra. I keep, your spirit guides are showing me that you are also clairaudient. I keep wanting to rise back up here into that. So use your abilities, whatever way your abilities are strongest, use those to manifest, use those to cleanse, use those to do all of your magic, to receive your messages. All of that is going to be helpful for you. I'm going to pull, I pulled 3 for the last pile, but I feel like I need to pull 2 for this pile for some reason. What is this pile's strongest psychic abilities? Okay. Thank you. Okay. So this came out very clear. I know exactly what this is saying. Your throat chakra is blocked, babes. Your throat chakra is blocked. We have the 8 of Swords reversed, or 8 of Wands reversed. And the 8 of Wands can often be about communication coming in very quickly. It feels like you could be an overshare. Ooh, thank you, Spirit. You could be an oversharer. You could be one of those people who is like an empath, but you also really need to be careful of who you tell your business to. And your energy could be leaking in that way as well. And you could be kind of low-key giving your power away without even realizing it by just saying too much about yourself. I have a video that I'm going to be posting soon that's called the underrated forms of spiritual protection, and that is one, shutting up. And so, sorry, listen, sorry, not sorry, because this is good information for you to know. If that really just hit for you, because I feel like it hit a lot of people, let me know down in the comments. I always love to see how these messages resonate for you guys. Yeah, so yeah, your throat chakra is definitely blocked. You could be getting a lot of ringing in your ears, and that is a sign that your throat chakra is blocked. And you could have also like a temper, and you could also say things that you don't need to say. When you're clairaudient, the words that you say resonate very, very heavily with people. So your spirit guides are telling you, I just saw this, and that's not just say just to shut up in general, because maybe you are also on the other side of that spectrum where you have a hard time speaking up. But we want it in the middle. We want a balance here, where you are confident in speaking your truth, but you're also not rude. You're not gossiping. You're not overly using cuss words, because there's, better ways of saying things, that kind of thing. Okay, another message that I'm getting from this, one of your strong abilities, or what your spirit guides need you to know about your psychic abilities, they run in your family. They absolutely run in your family. This is funny because synchronicities, no coincidences ever, but yesterday I was literally just talking to my mom, and she was telling me about one of my aunts who does like readings and does herbal things and just things that I never would have expected her to do. So if you are not aware of these types of things, psychic abilities, intuitive, spiritual abilities being, out there in the open, it still runs in your family. it still very much runs in your family. I just heard skip a generation, so it could have skipped some generations. Maybe it wasn't your parents, maybe it was your parents' parents. Even if you don't know them, whatever, they have been passing this gift on to you. And I'm kind of seeing like an ancestor kind of like holding almost like a gift and being like, okay, we're here and we're helping you tune these things up. So especially if you've been getting that ringing in your ear, your spirit guides are trying to help you develop this psychic ability. If you want to do a spirit guide whispering session, we can absolutely do that. If you want to learn how to connect with your spirit guides, you can join us for a psychic development circle. You can join us on Patreon. There's a lot of good information about spirit guides and, you know, developing your psychic abilities. And I'm going to be adding a bunch more content on there about all of this stuff because you guys are so interested, and that's exciting. Let's see if there's anything else that your spirit guide. I feel that's funny because they said 2 cards. Now I feel like I need to pull one more. I'm going to pull it off the top. The Hermit. Okay. Again, because you are clairsentient, because you are so sensitive to people's energy, your spirit guides are also reminding you that it is important for you to get time alone by yourself, where you recoup, where you don't have to be out in the open and putting on for people and putting on a mask, and you need time alone to just be away from the world. Also, spirit is pointing to the fact that this person is completely cloaked. We can't even see them in there. You might need kind of like a better sense of protection when you go out and about into the world. A really good way to do that is like a light shield. And especially because you are clairsentient, you can use that by feeling it from your heart and kind of like shielding it around you. I'm clairvoyant very strongly, so it's hard for me to do it without picturing it. But if you're not such a visual person, if you are a visual person, watch the first pile. But if you're not, really just tune into those feelings and your sensations as well. You can do it through sensation. So if you want to take like a certain crystal that's good for protection or whatever and literally rub it all on yourself, that will be perfect for you for protection because that is the way that your body receives the vibes. They're reminding you again about your throat chakra. I have a whole class on throat chakra and how to balance it with a meditation on my Patreon. So if you guys are thinking about joining Patreon, that could have been your kind of like message. Also just heard 444 and 777. I saw them as well. So I hope that that has been helpful for you, giving you a little bit more of an explanation or understanding of your abilities. I feel like some of you guys are like flabbergasted, like whoa. So I hope that it did. If it did, let me know down in the comments. Make sure you like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Thanks for watching. And now we are moving on. It got hot in here all of a sudden. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, pile 3, we bring in the heat. Pile 3 is bringing the heat. Okay. So I feel like a lot of you in pile 3, you have watched all the piles. If you have not watched all the piles, you can go back and watch them. I just saw it was 33:33 on my clock. So again, pile 3, if you are here and you felt like maybe you needed to watch all the piles and you haven't, go back and watch all the piles because all of those are going to have some type of message in there for you. You chose this bad boy, Lemurian Sea. Okay, so that was really interesting. My phone actually just cut out while I was trying to film that. So like I've gone ahead and like eaten and put this back on and it's not hot anymore. Very interesting, but I always say everything that happens during the span of a reading is important. So what this already tells me about your energy and maybe just a message that you really need is you need to take a break, or you need to take breaks more often. I know we're talking about psychic abilities, but it could be that your energy is so sensitive and gets overwhelmed so easily, and you take in a lot of information from other people. So I definitely get that you're very empathic and clairsentient for sure. You take on other people's energy. And so the fact that my camera completely went out and I was like, you know what? Let me just go get something to eat. I went, sat down, I had some salsa and chips. It was delicious. Came back, felt a lot better, felt regrouped. I feel like you need to do that and do it regularly, like not just one time, but continuously. It's really funny because I didn't even realize initially when I was talking about your pile that we had pulled 2 cards for you, but one of them was fire and I was feeling hot. No coinkydinks. And the other board card that we pulled was Ouija board, caution. So don't get alarmed, don't get alarmed. Let me do my psychic thing and read what this means for you. So spontaneity with fire, what I'm really actually getting from this is that you are also claircognizant. Claircognizance it comes from your crown chakra. Claircognizance means that you just know things. It's clear knowing. That is literally what the French translation, claircognizance, clear knowing. Sometimes things just come to you and they just hit you out of nowhere and you don't know why, you don't know how, and it's just this sense of knowing. And you may not hear it or feel it, or for you, you probably do feel it because I'm getting the sense that you're clairsentient, but you just know things. It feels like you could be extremely lucky, very good at just like knowing things, but I also feel like it's hard for you to kind of control it. That'll just take a little bit of practice. I say that claircognizance is one of the hardest ones to work on because for one, all of them kind of blend into claircognizance, but at the same time, you're able to apply it to everything else. So that's the good thing about your strongest gift. I also feel that you could be very connected to nature as well. That could be part of your psychic abilities too, especially with all these lines and things swirling around. Spirit is really showing me that you are very affected by the energy of the earth. You are very affected by the seasons, by nature, by animals. Again, very empathic. You're soaking up energy like a sponge, and I talked about that in one of the other piles. I can't remember which one, but I did. Ouija board, like I said, don't freak out. I feel like Ouija board is more like you are also a medium. I feel like you have a very strong mediumship ability or tendency. I literally just saw in my head in my third eye rather, I just saw multiple faces of the people that I've been working with in mediumship and development circle. So if you guys are here from my mediumship and development circle, hey Moonbeams, hey Patreon fam, put it down in the comments because I literally just saw all of your faces. Ari, Megan, Amanda, I'm seeing all of you guys, like my regulars who come to circle all the time. And if you guys haven't come to circle yet, but you would like to have a safe space to practice your abilities, definitely join us in circle. We have it every other Friday. You just have to check my calendar on the events. And if you're on the top tier of Patreon, you actually get in automatically. So that's definitely worth checking out. But you have mediumship abilities. So what this means, if you don't know, mediumship is the ability to speak to spirits. Okay, so psychic abilities is, and I mean, it's still a type of psychic ability. Mediumship is specifically with spirits though. And like I've said throughout this whole video, if you've been watching, if you haven't been watching, I guess, the other piles, you know, all of us have all of these abilities and we have the ability to develop all of them. It's just a matter of what we are naturally drawn to. And I always like to start there when I am coaching somebody, when I'm mentoring, which is kind of what we're doing here. So it really feels like you are very sensitive to spirit's energy. So you could hear names, voices, you could see ghosts, or, you know, spirits, you could feel them around. So this means, especially for those of you who live in like a very historic area, maybe you are, you know, in a very old house or something like that, make sure that you are taking very good care of your energy and your house's energy, because there could be a lot of spirits floating around. And one thing about spirits is not all of them are great. Okay, I'll say that. Not all of them are great. You could be hearing them, excuse me. Whenever I have like digestive, like burpy type thing, it's always throat chakra stuff. So you could be hearing them. They could be trying to talk to you. One thing that I learned very early on about spirits when I found out I was a medium, congratulations, by the way, if you're just now finding out, that's really cool. Is that when spirits know that we have this ability, they gravitate towards us, but sometimes them being around, they can just pull on your energy without really giving you anything in exchange, which is what we don't want. It's kind of energy vampire type stuff, and they might not even be doing it on purpose. It may just be them, you know, asking for help or whatever, but it's super important for anybody who's very sensitive to energy or wants to get into this kind of work. Make sure that you are setting boundaries, setting clear boundaries, even with the spirit world. That's something we've talked about in a lot of my mentorship sessions where, you know, the spirits will come at all hours of the night. And so maybe you've been experiencing that as well. That is because you are a natural born medium, somebody who has the ability to easily connect, more easily than other people. I always describe it as it's like being a singer, right? When we talk about being a psychic or, you know, being a medium, people say, okay, well, can anybody do it? And I say yes. And they're like, okay, well, you know, how come I'm not? It's like a job title almost, like being a singer, right? Anybody can sing. Everybody can sing. Do you sing well? Maybe not. Do you have the ability, the chance to sing well? Yes. If you go and you know, develop it, you might work with a singing coach, you might learn how to read music, you might, you know what I mean? It's the same way. So yes, everybody has these natural mediumship abilities, but if you don't know how to use them, then they won't get you super far, of course. So practicing, getting to know, getting mentorship, those types of things will help you with your mediumship abilities. We're constantly developing as mediums. There's always new stuff that the spirit world is teaching us. Let me pull some cards. Actually, yep, your spirit guides were like, nope, put the cards down. We'll just channel. Because you could also be a very good channel. So what a channel basically is, I don't know, I think it's kind of goes with claircognizance, but basically it is like mediumship where you're able to pull messages in from different places. Your crown chakra, I always see it like a big bowl on top of somebody's head. It's kind of like a satellite dish that shoots out, and it allows you to connect with so much different information. So you could be very gifted and talented at accessing the Akashic records for yourself or other people. If you want to learn how to do that, we can definitely go over that. Yeah, it feels like you just have this ability, this tendency to pull in other people's energy and be able to just know things. You're very, very connected to the cosmos, to the universe, to spirit. And so if you find yourself very overwhelmed often, that's probably why. It would be very helpful for you to ground yourself regularly, making sure, like I was saying earlier, taking your breaks, making sure that you're eating, drinking water, really working on your root chakra, because your crown chakra in the 7 chakra system, your crown chakra is directly opposite from your root chakra. Your root chakra connects you down to the earth. Your crown chakra connects you out into all of the ethers, all of the universe, all of everything that ever exists, which is a lot if you think about it. A lot for your dense little human body to take. So make sure that you are taking care of your human needs. That's what your spirit guides need you to know about these abilities and taking care of your energy. Let's see if anything else comes through. I just saw a polar bear. I'm not really sure what that is. Oh, Ashe, okay, thank you. So what I'm also getting, I just saw a polar bear, but this is funny because like I said, if you are in this pile, you've probably watched all the other ones, or you really should, or at least the first pile. Because what I just saw was a polar bear, and I was like, well, why are you guys showing me a bear? You could also have a very strong inclination to shamanism. That makes a lot of sense because shamanism has a lot to do with nature. I am studying shamanism myself, and you have the ability, you have the power. These are all my healers. You are my healer pile. So if you're watching this, comment down below with a, I don't know, what emoji should we do? With a bear emoji? Is there a bear emoji? I don't want to tell you guys to do it with an emoji that is there. What's something cool that we could do? Not me asking, like you guys are going to answer. What's something cool that we could do for shamanism? Put a a little healing heart. A little healing heart. You know, they have the heart with the bandages on it. Put a little healing heart in the comments if you are listening to this pile. But yeah, you guys are my healers, and I feel like a lot of you probably know that, but I feel like your spirit guides really needed you to have that message about taking stock of your energy and being a lot more grounded and careful about it. For those of you guys who did not already know kind of what I was just talking about, I would love, love, love to work with you. You are exactly the type of people that I have been calling into me. So there's no coincidences that you found this channel, because all of these things are gifts that I love working with people about. So if mediumship circle, development circle sounds good to you, sign up for one, try it out, see if you like it. We learn a lot. There's a lot of fun things that we do, and I'm really excited about it. One last message I'm going to give you that I just saw, the moon. Pay attention to the moon cycles for you. The moon is very, it governs our emotions, I should say. It very much pulls on our emotions. You know how it affects the ocean. It also affects us as human beings. It can pull on us and weigh on us, and you are extra sensitive to the moon. You might have always really felt close to the moon, or like I was saying earlier, other parts of nature. But your spirit guides are telling you to pay close attention to what cycles the moon is in and how you feel during that. And keep track of those shifts and changes, because that will help you regulate yourself and your energy and even your abilities a lot more. Okay, so I'm glad that I could give you these messages. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know. Make sure you like and subscribe and everything if this was helpful for you. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.